Welcome back to the True Way of Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Fuller. With me today, David Weintraub, the creator of the Hollywood Handbook. Oh, he's going to explain.
How are you?
Hey, Dave, what's going on, man?
Everything is good, Eric. How you doing?
I'm fine. So where are you this morning?
Today I am in beautiful Miami Beach, doing a little bit of work and a little bit of meetings and trying to get a little R&R.
I love it. So I know that you're releasing your Hollywood Handbook project, and I understand it's more than just something to read. So why don't you explain the project?
Well, the Hollywood Handbook is the guide, the secret sauce to getting your foot into the entertainment business, into Hollywood, into social media, and into pop culture entertainment. I basically have created a virtual training program that is a crash course to get your projects produced, created, distributed, all within the confines of a virtual training guide called the Hollywood Handbook.
And how do you know about this? Where's your background?
Well, for the last 25 years, I've been in the entertainment business since I'm 15 years old. I was an A&R at Interscope Records and at Death Row Records and for Eminem's record label. And then I went to USC, studied business, and I wound up going and working at William Morris Agency and then UTA for 7.5 years. And while I was at UTA, I created a number of reality shows that I wound up taking from my agenting and opened a management company. And I've been producing and managing all kinds of pop culture talent for the last 20 years. So I'm basically taking all of the secret sauce of what we do with our clients, and I'm putting it into a virtual training program. So anyone at the touch of their finger can watch and learn and actually interact with me on getting into the business.
So, give me an example of the kind of content you created, the reality shows that you took out and produced.
So I've created a number of shows for VH1, A&E, Netflix, Bravo, MTV. Some of the shows I created, I also starred in. I had a show called Sons of Hollywood, which I produced, created, and starred in. That was my first TV show. I then co-created a show called Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, which we did 11 seasons of. I also have produced and created every single television show that one of my partners has done, Ray J, who's the highest paid reality television star in the business. So every show you've ever seen him done, all 2,000 hours, Ray and I have created and produced those shows together. I then also created a big hit show for the Reels channel that I also starred in and produced called the Hollywood Hillbillies. And that was my first time that we actually proved that we could take somebody from YouTube that was basically a viral internet star and turn them into a linear television star. So we did another 70 episodes of that. So as my business has grown from agenting into management into producing, the social media business popped. So all the people that wanted to be reality stars per se and pop culture talent sort of became the social media stars. And those are the people that I now represent all across platforms. And we've really figured out the way to monetize social media, the way to distribute your content. And the Hollywood Handbook is basically the how-to guide into all of these different segments.
Okay. So that's a lot to digest for an audience that doesn't know much about this yet. This is Forbes, so we have to take it in small pieces.
Sure.
So you have worked and created content and programming, and then you've moved the relationships you have there into utilizing and leveraging social media. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so how do you do that? I mean, not a long explanation, but a simple explanation. How do you take somebody that got some attention with a show that ran 25 episodes, and now you want to make them have a presence in social media? What are the basic steps that you teach them or you advise them to do?
Well, you have two different things here. You have linear television, and you also have, online viewing, which is all the content that you're seeing on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and TikTok. So there's two different businesses. There's one kind of set of rules that we kind of use for the crossing over of a talent that's a linear talent, and there's another set of rules that I would say we would use based on an analytic that's for a social media star. So all of the relationships that I have built over the years, which is understanding who the buyers are out there for stars, we're teaching people how to contact them, how to get them to be aware of who they are, and basically how to distribute their content and pitch themselves, as well as get them to take a look at their content so that they can create their own deals.
And why would you want to do that, given the success you've had in creating episodic television?
Well, the business has evolved because episodic television is really just one side of it. When I left being an agent at UTA, my whole purpose in leaving was that being an agent, you were only on one side of the business. As a manager and a producer, you can create the shows, own the shows, be in the shows, and you're actually a partner. So this evolution into social media is just a natural transition of how the business has changed over the years.
What does social media create in terms of the ability to monetize for the people that follow your path through social media?
Well, social media is really based on a metric in making money. So the way to monetize your social media is obviously through a number of different things that we're going to explain to you in the Hollywood Handbook, which is the content that you need to create needs to be absolutely up to par with a unique voice, a unique point of view, great editing, great styles, and how to get that out at the right time and put it on the right platforms. So all of these steps that you need to take, we're going to teach you what has already worked for big social media stars and basically how to follow that content and make that work for yourself, but with your own unique point of view. You're not copying anything that's actually out there. We're just using the strategies that we use with our clients to monetize them and to push their content.
All right, and I think that I understand at a basic level that the objective is stage one, gather a community that pays attention to your social media. The part that maybe is less obvious is how do you then convert that community to some form of monetization?
Well, it's nothing that's going to happen overnight, but it could happen overnight if you have something that we would like to call is a viral moment, or what we used to call in the reality days a water cooler moment. That's a moment where something pops online, visibility is attracted to the social media star, to whatever their page is, and then brands and businesses and people will take a look at you and opportunities come. You have to move very quickly and monetize those opportunities. So we're teaching you how to go viral, how to then take what has gone viral, reach out to brands, or if brands are reaching out to you, how to make those deals and how to expand your viral moment into turning it into a business.
And the business would just essentially be rinse and repeat, try and create a new viral moment, try and
well, you constantly want to be trying to up the ante here. So obviously you want to like do things that are going to continue to go viral and to make your mark. And then hopefully brands will come and brands will want to pay you to post or pay you to do an integration, or who knows, you might even become the face of some type of products. Now, today, you have to remember, at one point, there was Coke and Pepsi. You know, there's 9,000 sodas today. So a soda company that's maybe emerging in the market, they may see a great, influencer and they want their can in the background. There's an easy way for you to make money if you have a certain metric that they agree with and they like your content, putting the soda can behind you, and there you go.
And well, there you go. How? So that's product.
Well, there you go.
And you get paid for the placement, right?
Exactly. But you have to understand that that is a full-time business for certain people. And we're teaching you the steps to getting to that place.
How many steps are you teaching in your Hollywood Handbook program?
The first course is 7 different areas. So we're talking about the producing and creating of content, the distribution of content, how to do your press, how to create a viral moment, and all of the things that you need to do to make sure that your content is of the best caliber possible with what you have. Now, you have a full movie studio in your phone. You have every ability to edit content, create content, Everything is right here. So you have the tools. It's taking the time and understanding what your content is and distributing it properly.
How many people do you think have the capacity to move from knowing how to make a TikTok to understanding how to position that, successfully complete a brand negotiation, and then have it happen more than once? In other words, it's not just a lucky pull, but it's a repeatable process.
Well, I think that's going to come down to exactly what the content is that they're putting out. I mean, there are steps that you can follow to make sure that you're doing content that is brand friendly. And I think that the louder, crazier, more unique, and how authentic your voice is, that is what's going to make you repeatable, and more opportunities are going to come your way. So we're basically giving you the guide of what you need to do, but I cannot hand you the talent, but I can show you what we do once the talent pops, and how to monetize it, and how to continue that cycle and turn it into a business.
Now, this is a subscription product, right?
Well, there's a few different tiers. So there's the initial Hollywood Handbook, which you can take and read and understand, and it has an interactive portion to it. And then there are some community opportunities that we're doing where we can have a pitch forum where number of people that are interested in creating and producing their content. We'll talk about what's working, what's not working, and you'll have direct access to me. And then we have a full mentorship program where basically, if you want me to come in and basically open up the doors for you, go over your content and help you to become the next social media reality rapper, rock star, whatever it may be, we may take an interest in actually doing the guidance of your career.
So I come to you and I say, hi, I've made 150 podcasts, and I'm known for writing in Forbes magazine, and I'd like to actually make some money at this. Then what do you do if I bring you on as my full stack guru?
Well, I mean, the thing with you is, with you or anybody that's in your shoes, it's really about your analytic. It's going to come down to your numbers, the quality of your work, and how we place that into a pitch deck that we then service to buyers who would fit the criteria of what your content is, that have an advertising budget or a placement budget, and then connecting the dots there. So there is an opportunity for everybody out there. It's just, how do we figure out what your numbers are and what your exact value is?
So basically, I'm going to get advertising from golf supply stores and the Silver Seniors dark dating app, right?
I mean, I think that it's a bit wider than that, because there are so many brands now, and the opportunities have really been endless. Through representing, Tana Mojo, who is, got 30 million followers, and we've created multi-million-dollar businesses together. I mean, we've had, the smallest mom and pop opportunities come to us, and also the biggest brands in the world, from, large champagne companies and Amazon and, huge corporate companies that want to do deals. But it's all based on, like, what do they think they can bring to the table based on the analytic of your numbers of what the return is going to be. So it really becomes a numbers game here.
What's the end game for you, though? Is it to use this as a sorting mechanism to find people to bring into your stable of representation, or is it a project to sell a lot of subscriptions and just have an ancillary revenue stream?
Well, the first and foremost for me is that I want to help people, and I want to teach people about the business, and that the business is not as complicated as you may think it is. There is a ton of opportunity for people to look at new talent, to look at new rising stars, and to see things in a different light. And I want to help people. But at the same time, I do want to find the next best talent that's out there. And I want people to feel like we have an opportunity to learn from someone who's done all of these different businesses as a jack of all trades. I mean, an agent, a manager, a TV star, a PR guru. I mean, I've had to play every single role in my career. And in doing that, you understand the business in a much different way. So if, like, Today I have to wear this hat. Tomorrow I got to wear that hat. And that's how you evolve your career. So I want to take everything that I've learned and I want to really show it to the world finally, because most of the stuff we've been doing has been an inside internal look that's basically a secret sauce for my clients. It's not for everybody.
How big is your team?
My team, we have about 15 employees, and then we have about 20 subs that work underneath us. And basically, depending on which shows we're producing at that moment or which talent is in on tour, we have to ramp up our staff and do whatever we might need to do. Like right now, we have a world tour going on with some of our hip hop stars. They're out, Snoop Dogg, Warren G, Too Short. They're off doing 70 dates right now, so I have to send an entire team with them. But the rest of the year, me and my team, we sit in our office and we field calls, negotiate deals, look for new talent, and we make deals.
Are you predominantly a manager or a producer? I mean, how would you rank order what you do in terms of
50 equal on both sides. 50% of the time it's management, 50% of the time it's producing.
Did you have to Did you have to give Snoop Dogg $545 to get the necklace?
Which necklace?
The he's selling a necklace for the backstage meet and greets. He'll give you a necklace.
I mean, for you, the necklace is free, so don't you worry. Which show do you want to go to? We're in New York tonight.
I'm okay without the necklace. I actually saw Snoop in New York at the private he did at Pier 17 last year, which was fun because I didn't recognize how tall he was. When I was 1 foot from him, and I'm 6'1", and I was looking up, which is rare. So that was something.
It's amazing. He's a great guy. Too Short, who's on that tour, he's been with me for 20 years. And we've had this incredible business relationship. We've made movies, we've made TV shows, we've made music, tours. So, it's obviously different when you have a big star name that you're selling, but the new stars that we're selling are the social media stars. And the best part about these guys is that if we can define this analytic and get them with the right brands, there is a multitude of opportunity to monetize yourself all the time.
I understand. Where do you want to land? I mean, ultimately, what is the path that you're trying to forge for David?
The path that I really want to forge is that I'm an industry leader recognized by the world as someone who has really been a self-made guy who has made all types of projects. I want to make hit TV shows. I want to have big superstar clients, and I want people to know me for being the guy that's really moved the needle for a lot of these people. So it's very important that the message is out there correctly. Obviously, listen, I've starred in a couple of my own TV shows, but differently than other people, I created and produced those shows. So there's not a lot of people that wear all those hats. When you take a vehicle and you take production and you take your idea and then you put yourself in it too. So I think that as people have seen me in these shows, you're going to see a much more grown up version of what you've seen in the past, because my skills have expanded into the future of the entertainment business.
Now, you're just now launching the Hollywood Handbook project, right?
Yes.
When is it live?
It is live. The Hollywood Handbook is live. If you go to thehollywoodhandbook.com, that is the front door to the page, and that will take you to understand more about what the product is about, and that will take you to purchase it and join our team.
So let's assume that somebody that's paying attention to this story goes on the Hollywood Handbook and they sign in. I presume they pay an initial fee to get in, and then
the Hollywood Handbook is $397 for the 7-course standard course.
And do they just own it as long as they want it, or
of course you can watch it, review it, you can join the community.
Then does the community have a Slack or a Discord or some other mechanism of communicating?
Well, today is the first day of launching, so everything is all internal within the Hollywood Handbook. But if there's people that have questions, there is a message board where everybody can talk back and forth, and you can actually ask me questions. But if you want me to really review your projects, then you have to join either the pitch forum or be part of the next level of mentoring.
All right. And so like many of these projects, that's the entry level gives you the overview of information, and then as you want more hands-on mentoring, it's pay as you go. Is that fair?
Exactly. And also, I partnered with Bradley, who has the technology for the platform that we're doing, and he, owns Lightspeed BT, and he's been a genius in this space, making over 2,000 different BT programs for many people. And not once in the whole community has there ever been some how-to guide to get your foot into the entertainment business. So he saw this as a unique opportunity to partner with me to really bring our knowledge of this space to the forefront.
Do you have the time to do this if it scales up?
We're going to have to make the time.
Well, but you're the guy. I mean, so how do you replicate yourself?
Well, I've been working 24 hours a day for 25 years, so I think that I've already lived this life for a very long time. Continuing is an eye-opening, refreshing next step. I'm excited to see all of the interesting people and all the great talent and all the content that's out there in a different forum, and give back to those people and teach them.
Do you feel that this project is balanced between people that are musical artists versus people that are, like film or television or TikTok kind of people? I mean, is it kind of the same?
Well, I mean, I want to keep this open to everybody. I mean, I'm looking for actors, rappers, reality stars, influencers, celebrity chefs, celebrity hosts, pop culture phenomenons, people that might have gone viral for whatever reason. I want every kind of talent that's out there to feel like this is the place to learn. Because whether you rap, whether you sing, whether you act, whether you know how to cook and do funny stuff in your kitchen, all of the content is all sort of the same, because people want to see a little bit of everything. I've represented every kind of star out there. So me looking at all the different categories, come, bring it. DWE Talent, the Hollywood Handbook, we have the sauce, and I will share it with you.
And DWE Talent is based in Malibu?
In Beverly Hills, California.
Beverly Hills, Malibu. Okay. And is that the only place that you have?
Yes. Okay. Beverly Hills, Malibu is in one thing. No, I live in Malibu. It's in Beverly Hills, California.
I understand. I actually know the geography.
Yes.
So
yes.
both nice places to live. But is it problematic for people that are on the East Coast that you're on the West Coast?
I don't think that in the day and age of Zoom and calls, I mean, there's not a lot of stuff that we have to do in front of each other. Everything can all be done remotely at this day, and at this stage of the game.
The world has changed. I mean, it's amazing to me the speed at which the world has changed.
I find it refreshing, a little bit more convenient, but at the same time, you do miss the interaction with people. But I feel like I can get more stuff done. I have more hours in the day if I don't actually have to sit in a meeting with someone. I can get it done, get on to the next one, get the execution done for whatever the previous meeting was, return all the phone calls, make the phone calls. You just have more hours in the day.
Is there a limit to how many people can sign up for this program, or is it open-ended?
Right now, it's open-ended. I want to make this something that the masses can be a part of. And I think that, in the 4 years that I've been developing this, the business has changed so much. Originally, when we started out, this was primarily about the non-scripted television business, because it was based on this class that I was teaching at USC, where it was called From Pitch to Pilot. And in From Pitch to Pilot, it was all the steps that we were teaching filmmakers, because they were getting jobs on our TV shows because they weren't making movies, as editors. So we wanted to teach them the basic skills of creating content. Now that then evolved into the whole social media business, because as we signed every, mega social media star under the sun, we had to create more opportunity for them. So the business evolved, and I decided to make the Hollywood Handbook really about multiple areas of the pop culture entertainment business.
All right. And as we're running to the end of our time, I want to ask you this question. Independent of what we're talking about today, I've been watching the social media giants sort of play shuffle the deck. So there's a reordering of which social media platforms are significant, in part due to the way Twitter is just destroying itself for no reason. What would you rank order in, most important to least important of the top 5 or so social media platforms for the people that are looking at coming through your program?
Well, for brands and making money and becoming a star and actually having your content distributed widely and popping, TikTok and Instagram. 2 different metrics. TikTok has one number of value, Instagram has another number of value. I find that the TikTok deals are very consistent and large, but the Instagram deals can be 6-7 figures, if not more. I would then say Facebook is really a place that you don't really go to watch content, at least in this format. Twitter is obviously, going to be Twitter, but we're not making the same deals that were going on there. Snapchat has monetized its content in a decent way. I find that their splits and the opportunities there are not that great. So I would say your focus still needs to be Instagram and TikTok.
So I agree with you, and I'm in no way your equal in knowledge of how to use the platforms, but my observation of what's moving the needle is 100, particularly in the metrics that are important, are TikTok, I think, by far, followed by Instagram.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please, you.
No, I was going to say, the business model of what has been created from Instagram, it's crazy to see people. I've brokered. I've had clients make $5 million to do a post. That's a crazy number to do nothing. To post a picture, to get paid that level of number. It's just madness. Now, obviously, we didn't talk about the big elephant in the room is YouTube still. So YouTube's numbers have changed slightly on the AdSense, but the brand integration opportunities, if you can align with the right products and your content is really popping, man, that's endless money because you make all the money.
On YouTube, can you do much with short form content, or does it need to be longer form?
It just depends on what the buyer wants. I haven't been doing a ton of deals for the shorts, but the brand integrated, like talk about a product or use it in a haul, have it in the background, integrated into the actual content. Those deals haven't stopped. The market has never really changed. If anything, I see more and more people investing into that.
That's interesting.
But just to tell you, like where the big money is for celebrities and for content creators, the biggest return that I see is on story. Story is a place where, with the correct link, with a 15-second video and the correct price point product that's integrated into the content, people will go and push the button, order whatever it is, and you really see the return very quickly. So let's say that you're a beverage brand and you have a beautiful social media influencer and she's wearing a bikini, drinking your brand or whatever is going on. That story, if you did that 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, it is going to sell every single time. And that metric is basically what they based on your dollar value. So understanding how to get to that dollar value is something that we teach in the Hollywood Handbook. We teach you how to create your analytic, how to understand what your potential metric could be after you distribute your content.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Right. I've noticed that, certainly there's a predisposition in social media paid placement for folks that already have 50 million followers, so they bring their own audience, followed by, the pretty girls and the pretty boys that just, the thirst trap. But then for everybody else, you're
up on the pop culture terms. The
Well,
thirst trap.
I have some kids, man. They
Yeah,
keep me
yeah,
young.
yeah.
Yeah. But
What do you
I think beyond that,
what is your perspective of the of the OnlyFans space?
I think OnlyFans is dangerous because we are moving backwards in time, away from complete and utter freedom to much more struggle over what's appropriate, what's content appropriate, what's socially acceptable. We're in an era of declining sexuality. We're getting more repressive. We're burning library books, and I just see that as open to regulation for morality in the future. I don't
Yeah.
see it being the open space it is now.
Well, it's actually created some of the richest independent women in the world at this point.
Well, but I mean, a lot of people were really wealthy when they owned Dogecoin and it was 61 cents.
Yeah. Well,
Things
no,
have
no,
their moment.
I totally agree with you. And granted, we have some clients that work in that space as well. And everybody, not everything on there is adult. I mean, it is a paywall. So a paywall is somewhere where people are going to buy stuff that you may not be able to see somewhere else. It does not have to always be of X-rated content. All of the people that we represent in that space do not have any X-rated content on there, but the content that they're putting there is stuff that they deem more valuable to sell there than to sell or give away on Instagram.
Well, so here's what happens when you have the benefit of having rolled up a couple of years on the age odometer. You recognize that things like OnlyFans that come along and make a big splash and gather a lot of attention work for a minute, but as they sort of go over the top, which I think this is done, I think it's peaked and it's coming back now. It's too
Yeah,
diluted. It's not novel. It's more or less pornographic forward. That having a non-sexual affiliation with OnlyFans is still going to taint. And 5 years
yeah.
from now, when you want to go do a brand deal with Budweiser, they're going to be vetting really, really
Yeah.
carefully, and you're not going to see it. Somebody that posted
Well, I don't know.
on,
I don't know if Budweiser is the right the right one to say at that moment, but I completely do agree with the analogy there. Uh, I do think that there is a sort of more openness from the bigger brands because even Amazon, we do a ton of Amazon promo deals where they integrate a lot of their um, future content and new technologies that they're launching on the app with social media stars, and the amount of money and the diversity of the talent that they're booking to do this stuff is insane. I mean, it's everybody from Sarah Palin to 50 Cent to Playboy bunnies. I mean, they go with every opportunity and every option out there. So I definitely think there is a openness to diversity, whether those are people that people look down upon or people love.
well, I guess we'll find out. I've just seen this pendulum move back and forth and back and forth, and I'm watching it move deeply to conservative approach to
Yeah,
morality, and it's going to take a while for that to sort itself out. But I think the
yeah,
reckoning is still coming. Now, I'm not advocating for that. I'm a free market guy. I think
right.
if you have constitutional freedom of expression, freedom of speech, if you don't like something, don't look at it. We don't have to legislate it away. But I think we're moving into an era where we are starting to legislate things away, and
Yeah,
and rights are becoming more restricted, and language is shifting, and so I do think, just like I try to teach my children and I try to advise my friends, when you make decisions that are in the moment okay, but long term maybe not okay, there's a price to pay, and you may not pay it
right.
today, but you will pay it. And the
Yeah,
people that get all the way through are the people that were thoughtful and turned down the money that they could have taken easily to preserve their reputation later. And that's a hard thing to do. It's very hard to
Right.
do. But
And,
that
and
love
you're
comes
not
from.
going to be able to get the content. The content is going to live forever at this point. Once it's out, it's out. Your statement and your content does have a diverse effect on your future, good or bad.
And the worst thing that can happen to anybody that's in any way public is to find out later, "Oh, well, that didn't age well."
Man, man. Well, good to know that in the Hollywood Handbook, we have a whole area of crisis PR management, which I happen to also be an expert in because I had to become a PR guru for my clients because you never know what crisis or what that water cooler moment or what that viral moment could do, good or bad, for your career. And I've stepped in and I've seen, oh man, we'd have to do a whole other episode, and I would talk to you about the good, the bad, and the ugly of crisis PR. And
Oh,
I know if anyone did any digging on some of our more controversial clients, they'll know that we have been right there at the forefront of that game.
well, I'll give you one right now, and then I think we're going to be out of time. So,
Sure.
very, very broadly, this week, there was a video of somebody throwing something at Cardi B, and Cardi B turning around and clocking her in the head with a microphone by throwing the
Yeah.
microphone. And that got a lot of attention because there's
Yes.
been a lot of people, for whatever reason, throwing stuff at artists. So
Mhm.
here's my prediction for next week. Next
Mhm.
week, somebody's going to say, "I looked at that video again, and after Cardi B threw the microphone, she was still singing. Her voice
Mhm.
was still coming out perfectly."
Mhm.
Right. And there's your oops moment because you got mad and you threw the microphone at someone that threw some water on you. And
You
you're
talking about
doing,
the Milli Vanilli moment?
yeah. I mean, you're dancing
But
to a tune.
but but can I just for the sake of managing many rap stars and doing thousands of shows, there's always an underlining track that people are using that in a large crowd is set underneath the song. That is any artist in the world has that. And especially when you're doing a club appearance in Las Vegas at a beach day club, whatever it was, there is no good way to get sound there. People are not expecting to go and see, Pavarotti perform at the Tao Beach Club. All right. So I think in that reference, yes, I get it. But they wanted to see Cardi B. They wanted to see her antics, and they got what they deserved. That was probably the best show she's done because everybody went viral. Everything that happened. If you look, there's 70 different angles of what happened. It's almost like it could have been a Netflix crime documentary done exactly who threw it, how it landed, what happened, how'd she provoke it? Was it the guy's fault? Was it their fault? I mean, it's brilliant. Now, listen, Cardi B is your perfect example. Now, she did not follow the Hollywood Handbook, but she was launched on one of the shows that we produce, which is, Love and Hip Hop. Obviously, all of the Ray J Love and Hip Hop is the stuff that we're partners in. She was in the New York show. And we're very closely tied in with VH1. She is a reality star that took it to a 100 million plus level evaluation in her life. So look, whatever she's doing, do it right, continue down that path. But now you can maybe do it quicker because you're going to learn from the guide.
Well, so I'm going to leave it with this. I have a suggestion I'd love to see you do. I think you should reach
Sure.
out to your friend Cardi B, and
Yes.
you should remake Rashomon. Which,
Rashomon. Okay. Wait, I know this song. Remind me what that is
Rashomon
again.
Rashomon is a very famous Japanese movie in which the
Okay.
same story is told from four separate perspectives. Four different
Okay.
people observe the same thing completely differently, which is what you were just describing.
Right.
And so that's
Right.
that's what you were just saying about the microphone throwing.
You know what? Hey, this is a good idea.
All
Eric,
right.
we may have some here.
All right. I want co-executive producing credit.
Whatever you need, you got it. It's great to see you, and thank you for letting us talk about the Hollywood Handbook. Really appreciate it.
Super fun, Dave. We'll talk soon.